Hey, how's it going, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be talking about Washington State's out-of-state service credit program. Now, this program was originally designed to give service credits to those of you that have earned service credits working in another state and using them here in Washington to potentially qualify you for either early retirement benefits or reducing a penalty you may incur if you're taking your pension prior to age 62 or 65. Now, I will say up front that this program doesn't actually work like it sounds, despite what you may have heard from someone at DRS, despite what their website says, and despite what it says on their paperwork. There are some real big differences between what they tell you and the way it actually works. So we're going to dive deeper into that later in today's video and even give you a real life example that's happened to us just this year. All right, so first and foremost, this program is free. It does not cost you anything if you wanted to use this program. So all you have to do if you're wanting to apply for this is you need to get a form from DRS, and you're going to have to turn it into whatever state you accrued credit in. Now, the state will have to certify that you worked there for X amount of years, and they'll put it on a piece of paper and send that back over to DRS, certifying that yes, you earned X amount of service credit years in a different state. And there is actually no limit to how many years you can use. So if you had 10 years working in Montana, for example, you could have 10 years of service credit be used towards the calculation of your benefit. Now, one thing I want to make clear with this program is adding service credits from other states does not increase your pension payout. Now, the only thing this program is really designed to do is help you collect your benefit early or help reduce the penalty that you may incur if you took it before your full retirement age. So this program does not actually increase your pension or benefits in Washington State. If your goal is to increase your monthly benefit, you're going to have to purchase those service credits from Washington State. And that's an entirely different program, and I'll link the video up here on how that works. A couple other details of the program is that the service credits that you're trying to use has to be earned in a public retirement system in another state that covers teachers. So it's not going to cover private schools or any kind of charter schools that aren't in that state's public system. One other requirement of this program is you actually have to be vested in either Plan 2 or Plan 3. Remember, your vesting period is 5 years on Plan 2 and is 10 years on Plan 3. The exception is if you have 12 months of working in Washington after the age of 44 on Plan 3, then it's only 5 years. So you have to be vested in order to be eligible for this program as well. Another thing I'll make clear with this program is even if you go through to use it, you're not forfeiting those service credits from the other state. Okay, so as an example, if I had, say, 8 years of service in Oregon and I was vested in their system and I want to collect a benefit there, but I also wanted to use those service credits towards my Washington State benefit to get an early retirement, you can still do that. Using the service credit years from Oregon does not forfeit or change anything to your benefit in Oregon. So you could use this program, you could actually use those 8 years and get to count towards your early retirement here in Washington, and you can still get the Oregon benefit in full. It's not going to affect anything there. Also, this program can be used in multiple states. So if you're one of those people that hopped around a bunch and you've got retirement benefits in Oregon, California, Idaho, regardless of it is, this program will actually carry through all those states. You can actually add all of those years up from the other states and use them here in Washington. Now, despite the goal of this program, and as good as it sounds, it actually does not work like it's intended or advertised. It clearly states that using this program, you can actually use those service credits earned in another state towards qualifying for early retirement or potentially reducing the penalty. That's what it says on their website. You call over to DRS, and depending on who you talk to, someone's going to tell you one thing and someone's going to tell you another. Now, the truth of it is this is not how this program works at all. In fact, for 95% of people that apply for this program, it doesn't work in their favor, and they go through all the work and hassle for absolutely nothing. So if your goal was, hey, I've got 25 years here in Washington, but I've got 5 years in another state, let me take those 5 years, let them count towards my 30 years here in Washington, that's going to put me at those 30 years, therefore I'm now eligible to retire at age 62. That is not how it works. You still have to go to 65. And in fact, even if you go through the program and they approve it, it's not going to do anything for you. It doesn't increase your benefit. It doesn't qualify you for early retirement. It does not even allow you to reduce the penalty for going before age 65 in your case. Now, the reason why I know this is we went through this firsthand with a client this year. She had 24 years of working in Washington State. She moved out, had 6 years working in another state. She's 62. She says, hey, I'm going to retire. When I first learned about this program, I called DRS up, asked them all the different questions, and whoever I spoke with there told me, yes, this is how the program works. She'd definitely use those 6 years, get the 30 years, and she could retire at 62. So we went through it all, filled out the application, sent it in, everything was approved. She retired from her state. The client gets her benefit estimate from Washington, and come to find out that they're taking a 25% penalty on her. And of course, she was confused as I was, so we called her together, and after an hour and a half of doing the phone tree thing with DRS, we finally found somebody that actually knew what the rules were, and they clearly stated that that's not how the program works. She's either gonna have to take the 25% hit, or she's gonna have to wait till 65 to get her full benefit. So in Washington, if you want to qualify for the early retirement at age 62, you need to have 30 years of physically working in Washington state. This program does not count towards that number, neither does buying service credits. You have to actually physically work for 30 years to be able to retire at age 62 with your 30 years and not receive any kind of a reduction. Now, thankfully in my client's case, we had enough assets and a backup plan to make it all work out. But this could potentially be a big issue for some people that maybe they didn't have the assets to fall back on and they really needed this income for retirement and they didn't want to take that penalty. They would have no option in that scenario. So you really need to be very careful if you plan on using this program. Now, in the midst of this whole thing with DRS, when I was talking to the person that actually knew the rules, I asked him why the website stated that. And his explanation was, it is the case in very rare circumstances, and he's not sure why that's even on the website, because most of the calls he gets regarding this is the same thing. Most of the people actually don't qualify for the program. The only way that it works, and he kind of was a little vague in the rules because I guess there's some specific calculations behind the scenes. So he was clearly stating that the program would have worked if she was only 3 service credits shy, and because she's 3 years away from full retirement age, in that case it would have worked. Yes, we could have reapplied for those 3 years, but even if we got those to count, she's still going to be 3 years shy and would have made a difference anyways. So if you're going to use this program, you want to make sure that the amount of years you're bringing over is going to be equal to or less than the years earlier you want to retire. I know that sounds really confusing, and it's because it is. They don't make this thing easy to understand at all. So if you are thinking about this program, best bet is to call DRS and ask them how does it work for you, and then call them back maybe the next day, speak to somebody else, and then ask them. Because it's pretty clear that no one in the department is really on the same level of understanding when it comes to this program, and you could get different answers just like we did here. And if you want to avoid the headache, you want to make sure you're absolutely certain that this works. Of course, now that I've gone through the experience of it all, I'm a little more up to speed on how it all works. If you need help understanding this area a little more, the link in the description below is to get on our calendar, and happy to walk you through this as well as any other questions you have regarding your state retirement. All right, so I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Remember that your future depends on what you do today.